How is everything going? Today's the Sunday, the January 24th. So this is my first update for year 2016. So lately, I have been doing more of this audio blogs on this channel, which I basically upload as a video format, but there is no video images, but rather recorded voices, and you could put like pictures and images on top of the sound clips. You can like basically like slide slow. There is music, and you can like talk voice sometimes, depend on what I want to talk about. And it's easier though, you can like record in a longer forum than you record on video, and it's easier to do the process, record and basically upload faster as well. So basically depends on what I'm talking about. For those like topic share, sometimes most of the time now I'll be doing this in this forum, podcast forum. So since this is the first update for this year, I was thinking to share a little on my life story with thalassemia. So basically from how I was born to my current state now, so you get to know how I was diagnosed with thalassemia and my process, my life journey with thalassemia to now, and get to know more about my personal life as well in it. So it might be a longer podcast, so hope you stick with it. I was born on the 29th December of year 1987. It has been a premature birth. I'm supposed to born officially somewhere in the January of year 1988, but who can tell, I'm a few weeks earlier to be ready to be out of my mom's stomach. It's not this surgical birth, it's not a natural birth, which I hoped. Both my mom and dad was happy at that time. It's their first child, and it's a healthy child at the time I was born. My weight and height is far above average. It's over the 75 percentile, because mainly due to genetic. My dad is quite tall man, 178, and he was 90 something, 100 kg. It's a big size man. So as for my mom, it's not short either. My mom is 164 centimeter and also about over 60 kg at that time. So they was happily have start a family. Who can tell, at about the age of 3 years old, when I was first diagnosed with thalassemia. I think by that time I have some symptoms of thalassemia, anemia, basically pale appearance, and I don't like to eat. It's happened often to any child, they don't eat, but it's kind of weak and tend to sleep more, poor appetite. So my mom is very concerned until one day I was really sick, until my mom had to bring me to the hospital for a medical checkup. I think it's not clinic but in the hospital. Then from there, she was realized, the doctor told my mom that I have thalassemia, not sure intermediate, but at that time not major definitely, because I did not start transfusion. The doctor told my mom, say we have to see whether how is my hemoglobin could be able to maintain, because once you start transfusion, your child be dependent to it. So we will like observe how his condition had been. So we'll give him like supplements, vitamins for meantime, and we'll observe how it goes. So my mom was listen to the doctor advice, as because my mom and dad that time was not asked to undergo such thalassemia screening. I don't think if they are being asked, they will definitely go for that. But then at that time, it's like 20 something years ago, so it might not be the technology in screening might not be so advanced and like now. So many many thalassemia major unfortunately are birthed during my age period, about around my age, but now it's like getting lesser and lesser due to the advancement. The prevention is getting more strict, more technologies come out, so it's good. But at that time, unfortunately, my mom is not asked to scan, so I was stuck with this supplements until one day when I was around the age of 6 plus 7 maybe, when I was having fever and I was basically sick, and was my HP suddenly dropped to very low, I think 5 or 6 or even lower. So at that time the doctor said, sorry, unfortunately, but your son have no choice but to start on blood transfusion. So the time was at the Thomson Medical, which is kind of a private hospital. So my mom did not know, so he just bring me to what the doctor advised my mom to go to, which is a private hospital. Ever since I'm born, my grandma and my auntie, my grandma meaning my dad's mom, and my auntie is my dad's younger sister, so they have a house, they live together, my auntie and my grandma. They actually brought me up when I was like born to like at least like 10 years old. So not that my parents don't care about me, they are just too busy with their work. They have a job, so daytime they do go to work, and the remaining time no one is taking care of me. So my grandma and my auntie actually kind of raised me up, and kind of like nighttime when they after work, they kind of fetch me from my auntie house back to our house, because we have our own house. And morning my dad have to like drove me to my auntie house again, things like that. And over the weekend my parents were basically spend more time with me at home, and this lifestyle basically goes on till about the age of when I was 7. And once I was like very sick, I was like I think I have fever, and I was like very pale and weak, was no appetite. So my mom brought me to hospital again. I think should be the hospital I've was diagnosed with thalassemia there, and the doctor reviewed my hemoglobin, and as it's dropped very low due to the fever and my thalassemia condition. So the doctor said your child have to start blood transfusion from now, because my hemoglobin has been sustaining from like over 3 years, from the age of 3 to like I think 7 now, able to sustain like good HP, I think about 7 or 8. But then once there's a fever, the HP drops, so the couldn't maintain it at that time. So the doctor said have to start transfusion. So the time I was first transfused, having my blood transfusion at the private hospital, I think the doctor recommended the private hospital, because the doctor might not sure about that, because they actually charge more. It's the Thomson Medical, it's a private hospital. So my mom have do not know where to seek the treatment, because the doctor actually like told my parents it's a very like rare kind of scare blood disorder, so disease rather, they will say in the way to scare you. So my mom was afraid to listen to the doctor advice to go to the hospital, and the hospital over there is like a scam. They when you need to have your blood transfusion, you have to come on the Friday to like stay overnight for 2 days. You have to come like Friday evening if you couldn't make it in the daytime. And Friday evening you have to check in like a hotel, but you have to stay overnight on the Saturday. The next day then they transfuse you with a pack of blood. Then only that when I'm receiving 2 pack of blood at that time, so on the Sunday in the morning they transfuse you with another pack of blood. Then the doctor will come and have a visit and check basically your heartbeat or blood pressure, see everything is fine, then you can go back there. And they have additional charges to the doctor to come to your this ward room to have everything monitored. They actually have to charge, and the cost of the hospital bill is shocking, basically like hundred and thousands. So my mom is like very, very stressed at that time. She have to work like few jobs, like my dad too. But this goes on to like, I think that's 7 years old, which I get into the primary school. I finished kindergarten. I completed the whole education basically from like kindergarten, which was like nursery, which was like 4 to 5 years old, then kindergarten 5 to 6 years old, then primary school 7 years old to like 12 years old. So basically I'm the shortest in class most of the time in primary school. Might have 1 or 2 about my height, but I'm basically among one of the shortest and always get bullied. My friend classmate was like to be me, and got once I kind of revenge in the class, and many things happened. My teacher actually called my parents come down because I kind of used something to poke on my classmate back because he kind of like bully me in the first place, so I kind of take revenge to it. And my mom is being called down by the teacher, and it's very upset, kind of like scold me after that. A lot of bully case when I was in primary school. Also, my school result during my primary school days has always been not so good, as I kind of like miss classes here and there to go for my treatment, blood transfusion, doctor visit, things like that. But then it's not so much of concern, as I'm MC. I really have to go for my medical treatment, but then my exams kind of like always like fail all the subjects. I scared maybe like Chinese I'm better in, and most of the time I don't like concentrate, because when you're young you're not sure what you are doing, you don't know the importance of schooling. If I can go back in time, of course I could like work hard, but when you're a child you don't know what you're doing, so kind of like fail all the subject, things like that, and get to the worst class of all. And also in primary school I kind of like exempted from like PE, those like physical exercise class, which everyone have the like 2.4 kind of like they have like physical exam. I was like exempted, but when there's games I would like to involve, like playing basketball. So those are my favorite PE time during the primary and secondary school days. And when I was like I think 9 or 10 years old, when I first has to experience the gastric infusion once in the hospital ward, I was still can recall the image. Basically once like several nurse was like holding me, and like one nurse is like trying to poke the butterfly needle into my stomach. I was like shouting and screaming. I still can recall the places and the image, and it's basically the night time. The nurse was holding me, and one nurse trying to poke the gastric infusion into me. So I was like screaming and shouting because I think the nurses there not sure how to do the gastric infusion as well, until like which age I started blood transfusion, or I started no, not transfusion, but gastric is at the age of about close to 10, I think 9 plus or 10, when it's nurses. It's another thalassemia patient mom. She kind of like, actually my mom brought me to her house, so it's kind of like show and demonstrate to my mom how to inject the gastric infusion. So when I first go there, she was nicely inject. I don't feel the pain, plus I think she take one of his son's toys to give it to me. So it's she's a professional nurse though, so they teach my mom how to how to give the proper way of giving infusion, because my mom don't know at all at that time when I was like first getting into all this, my mom. So after that, my mom will giving me the dashboard infusion most of the time until I grow older. Then I start to like prepare and do my own infusion. When I was like late teens, then I start doing myself. Before is my mom doing the dashboard infusion for me, because my mom said your hand got germs, you don't know how to prepare. So my mom is the one who prepare and like inject for me until I'm like 17 or 18. Then I start to give myself the desperate infusions. As I had mentioned earlier, my result during my school days has always been bad. I kind of fail all the subjects except for my primary 1. I kind of like get through it, and primary 2 I kind of like start to fail, start to drop into worst class when I get into primary 3, and primary 3 I kind of fail badly as well, get into primary 4. But primary 4 I kind of the same, couldn't get through because once you drop, you did not improve, you can't get worse. And primary 4 I supposed to get to the worst class of primary 5, but then they have these rules of you can choose either to the worst class of the best and also the worst of the worst. So it's like EM1, EM2, EM3. EM3 meaning the worst class, so EM2 you could choose to get into the worst class of EM2, but it's still better than EM3, which is the worst of the worst class. All the bad students are in the EM3. So my mom kind of like let me maybe hope I could like study when I'm in EM2 and hope for the best. So let me like go into the EM2 and kind of like give me tuition. When I was primary school, I have like tuition, but still fail all the subject until like when I get into primary 6. Primary 5 I fail as well, get into the worst class when I'm in primary 6. So primary 6 I met a like really nice kind of like Christian teacher, and she's funny. She still mistaken me. I still remember she mistaken me like as leukemia instead of thalassemia. Not sure where he heard it, but I think he have a conversation my mom used to, and say leukemia. I tell the class I have leukemia major. Somehow I see like leukemia major can be so hardworking, and you are healthy. Why can't you? Things like that. And until one day she found out that I do not have leukemia but thalassemia, because I'm not sure you may mistaken that it's a blood disease also. Until one day she called my mom, because she's a Christian, so you want to got few times she went bring me to church Sunday morning. So once it's like call my house to my mom answer, so it's like to remind that tomorrow morning what time she will be coming to fetch me below my house. So then the teacher actually talked to my mom, said, sorry, I heard your child have this leukemia condition. So then my mom kind of have a hard time explaining to her that it's not leukemia, it's thalassemia rather, so it's not big of difference. Both are blood, but that time it means a lot, makes a big difference to my mom. So kind of explaining to how the process is done, what's thalassemia, to a teacher. That kind of, after that she did not call me a leukemia major anymore. So because that teacher like bring me few times, it's like every Sunday morning she will drove her red car and park below my house, and she kind of like wait for me to come down, and she will bring me for breakfast, then we go church, and sometimes after church we go and have like lunch also at McDonald's. One time the Hello Kitty fever, she kind of like long queue for me to get the toys for me and my like sister. I still remember. That's a nice teacher. But anyway, that's the only kind of year I kind of pass all the exam, with quite good rates, like 2. 1 is the best rate and 4 is the fail rate. That's why mine is the 2, so it's like better than average. So although it's the pass for the last class, EM3, should have passed, though it failed. I couldn't. Worst of the worst, you couldn't get through I couldn't pass the EM2 exam, so I get to EM3. At least I passed the EM3, so I get into like secondary school. When I was 13, I get into secondary school. Lucky I passed that. If not, I have to like retain. My mom was very worried that year. He kind of give me like ask the tuition teacher to come to my house to give me a remedial lesson, and all the way though I think primary 3 I started to have this tuition teacher coming to my house and go for like those like private tuition center as well, but I still couldn't cope because I'm not sure what I'm doing. When you're a child, you don't know what you're doing until you're older, then you recall that you don't know what you're doing, things like that. So back to my thalassemia treatment. Earlier I was jumping to my thalassemia treatment and also my school life a little, and back to thalassemia treatment now, because I don't want, because all happening around the same time when I was like 7 to 11 or 12 years old. So I kind of like talk about my thalassemia treatment a little and jump to school life. It's not all on treatment or on school life. A little each will be appropriate. So I was saying I was having treatment at the private hospital, Thompson Medical, the time was called it, and I was there I think like at least 1 or 2 years, but you have to stay 3 days 2 nights to have a blood transfusion section of like 2 packets of blood. So and also the charges is so expensive, but they will treat you of course, but it's like 1,000 2,000 things like that. The bill is like ridiculous. It's like normal people couldn't afford, such as my parents, until one day my mom was reading like local newspaper and she found out about Professor Ivy Ng, which is my thalassemia doctor in the past. So she was reading about it and know about the Professor Ivy Ng is like specialist in like thalassemia treatment. So it's like very curious wanting to meet Professor Ivy Ng. So she kind of like called the hospital and kind of like arrange an appointment. So she's able to meet Professor Ivy Ng to like talk to her in person. And when she's there, like she was telling the doctor about my condition, and the doctor was like quite shocked about, it's your child condition is like not so rare. You usually can seek help from the like government. You can seek help in the government hospital where it's like cheaper, and government could subsidize if you couldn't afford. So then my mom like of course transfer all my like medical record to the government hospital. From there I was at the Singapore General Hospital at that time, before the KK Women and Children Hospital is built. The time was like 10 or 11 years old. I was there for about a year or two until the KK hospital was built. So I was there. It's like outpatient ward. It's like you couldn't morning you come to the hospital, and evening you could go back. The blood transfusion process takes a little longer. It's like throughout few hours. So let's say sometimes you have to come in the night, like nighttime you come, then the next morning you go back, or sometimes you do not receive the blood immediately after the first packet of blood finish. You have to wait like few hours because they do not have the doctor to come to the ward to check your this blood, your particulars with the blood all the time. So you have to sometimes wait for hours for the doctor to come. So it might take slightly longer than my parents would expect at that time. So but it's still better, as in the maybe one day you could have the blood transfusion done half day. It's much better than the 3 days 2 night vocation lingerie aspect vocation tour, having blood transfusion. I was having my blood transfusion and all my thalassemia treatment at the Singapore General Hospital for about a year, maybe a year plus. I couldn't remember. So small at the time, until the KK Women's and Children Hospital was built, and we are ready to like shift all the children, and mainly children. The women, I'm not sure where they come from, probably from the other hospital like NUS or SGH as well. So I've been transferred over there. The time was at the level 1. They have a CDT. They call it CDT in short form, Children Day Therapy. Basically, they treat like leukemia of cancer patient, also thalassemia patient. So it's a outpatient ward. So you can come like 8:30 in the morning and 4 or 5 p.m. Or earlier when the blood finish. Sometimes when 1+ you can go back when it's fast. And by evening sure you can go back home. So it's like even better than the SGH, where sometimes you have to stay until midnight or even the morning. This one you can outpatient. Basically, I usually come on Saturday because of like school, and I really like the place. It's basically made for children. They have like a lot of game area that I really enjoy that place, and the nurse also is really nice. So for school, I kind of like fast forward from my secondary school days, like from 13 years old to like about 16 years old, coming 17. I've pretty much passed every year, even though it's the technical class, it's the like those one of the worst class, but I kind of pass every year, like with improving result, and I get through my last year, secondary 4. I kind of passed the GCE O level, which if you pass, you can like choose either college or like other institute, or JC is the best, then followed by polytechnic, and like the ITE, they call it like technical institute. So at least I passed the secondary 4 quite good result, so I get into like ITE, which is like having like electrical kind of course, which is not the course I want to get in, but due to because I and my friend couldn't make up my mind, I was planning to go for the admin course, but then I was worried about my result is not good enough to apply for a course, so I did not take the time really go and do it and apply for that course. So my friend ended up in the like electrical course together in ITE West at that time. It's like not far from my place. It's like I was like fuck it, just go for 2 years and get a cert, and after that see what to do after that. Maybe can work, or depends on like interested in that course. This course is basically about doing electrical wiring and also electronic stuff. So I passed the basically quite good rate. I get A also as well. After secondary school, my rate kind of like getting better and better. I passed my ITE with quite good result. Then one of the reasons why I did not go to the polytechnic, actually I could go into higher education, like further my education. ITE 2 years, I could like go into higher NITEC 2 years, and I could like get into like polytechnic and get a diploma at least. Like if I spend another, let's say 3 years, actually my result is good enough to jump into the polytechnic, which is like another 3 years I could complete my this diploma and get a better job. But then the time when I finished this ITE 2 years there, then some family issue happened. My dad unfortunately kind of passed away. That's the most sad thing that happened in my life for the past 18 years. My dad actually passed away due to I think some sort of colon cancer. Not exactly sure whether it's the colon that affected, but it's basically the intestine cancer. He was diagnosed a bit late. I think it's like stage 3, I think around stage 4 already when he's diagnosed. So first he was like he not notice himself that is when he go to the toilet there is like bleeding the blood. It's like I think it's like common, because like sometimes you have the bleeding the blood when it's like too hard, or sometimes you get now and then. This thing is like common. Some people have this like have grow this like, don't know what you call it, like pimples, those pops, and the S area. He might have bleed too, but he thinks dead, but it's not. It's like something worse. So it kind of like my auntie kind of noticed when he kind of met my dad. His like skin is like very yellowish. So my auntie advised my dad to go for scanning, and my dad actually go for it. Then he realized he was diagnosed with like a colon cancer, and also a stage 3 or stage 4. That was like very sad. My mom was like, my mom and dad actually not tell me about this until it's like much worse. So you don't want to like scare me. That time I still like 17, 18, so 18 years old maybe. So it's like dealing with it himself, struggle through the pain. My mom was taking care of him all this time until he like passed away peacefully at the hospital. I think we like have a maid taking care of my dad for quite some times, because the time you have to change or because got the colon cancer, or you need to, they can't like pass motion or what, you have to like take out the waste or pay for him. He couldn't take care of himself, so you need like maid to take care of him. Sometimes my auntie do help out. Auntie, he like after like I think 9 months of struggle with the cancer, then he peacefully passed away one morning at the Singapore General Hospital cancer center. So I was very sad at that time. A lot of things going on during that, and we have to like sell our house and move to like a year I stay at my auntie house after we sell our house, because we couldn't afford all the bills, all that, and also not so many people is worth paying for the facility. The time we were staying at the like condo thing, so we kind of like move staying with my auntie for a year or two before we buy our own house. My mom bought a new apartment, so I'm really sad staying at my auntie house. The time I was like at home most of the time. I do not go out. I was like very upset, and also about myself. The time I was like no confidence, the time I was growing like pimple all over my face, and I have like no self-esteem, and like my dad passed away and all these things start to happen. I was like very depressed for quite a while. It takes maybe a few years, 2 or 3 years to really get over everything, and then after that I start taking like after I get through it, maybe 2 years or more, I think it's a very deep pain, sharp right into my heart of what I've 18 years you spend your dad and suddenly pass away, that feeling. After I get through struggle through the storm, then I kind of like get a job. Basically I kind of take license first, I think car license, then after that I get a job, and like call center, then I get into admin job and try different job basically until I like get into a like admin job for a few years. We've been working there at the real estate company. So it has really been a very tough time for my mom and also me and my sister. It will be tough for anyone who is encountering this situation, so it's no surprise. We get through it. Fortunately, after a few years we kind of like get our own apartment now, living fine. Now it's getting better and better. I have a job. My sister is like graduating from polytechnic soon, so she might go university, or she might work for a couple of months depending on his result, or he might take part-time in the evening, and he will get a like full-time job or part-time job temporarily until he fully graduate, and he will get a fully official job. But he could get a job after he graduate, because it's like have internship, so the school actually will like look out for like employer for my sister, so he can go and try it out and see how it goes. And I have a job, my mom is doing fine too, and everything seems to be manageable now. And I've been at the KK that I talk about. I was there like 10 years old. After that, they moved the ward at a different block now. A different block. Actually, it's at level 1. They kind of like the level 1 all become like treatment, doctor consultation center, and we kind of move up to different level, such as level 7 that I last been before I moved to the Singapore General Hospital Hematology Center that I am still at there seeking treatment now. I was moving there like 2012 around the year end the time. I shift to the hematology center. There is also good. It's an outpatient ward, so 8:30 I'll be in the ward. Then kind of like usually now it's about 5 plus I'll be going back after 3 units of blood. It's pretty fast. So except the experience is that at the private hospital that one is like really tough though, for me and my family. Although it's like the treatment is really good, they serve you what you want to eat, kind of like serve you well, but they charge to the bill sometimes. Like Milo, they kind of give you supper at night, like 10 p.m. they ask you what you want, Milo, biscuit or porridge, a noodle. They kind of like serve it to you without charges, and that's like nice place, the private hospital. So my mom did not know it earlier. If not, it would like straight away send me to the government hospital and save a lot of bills, a lot of money. And we can't go. My mom go into debt and own hospital money, and you have to take time to really rebate it. So that's about it. I think not to make it too long, although have been a lot to talk about. This is basically just the few things I want to talk about. I could remember many things has gone through for the 25 years. If it was for you, I think you have more to talk about. You couldn't talk maybe I don't know how long I recorded it, maybe 50 minutes podcast in like your 25 years of life in like 50-minute podcast is really impossible. So anything you want to ask me about my personal life, you can, as long I think it's able to answer, I will like answer it for you. And you have any story of your own, you can like share it to me and talk like any here. Because today Monday, later on, today is actually Monday, now it's like 2 a.m. and you go to sleep soon, record until you forgot the time. But Monday today let's see, 25th January, we have like Thalassemia Society Singapore community meeting at one of the community member house at about 7 or 8 today. Actually it's last week they kind of postponed, some of the member couldn't make it, so it's like all the member kind of can make it today on this 25th January. So I go to sleep now. I still have work in the morning, so I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.